Hello children, welcome back. This is another session of 8th class physical science. The topic what we have discussed earlier was some natural phenomenon. So children, in the last class we have studied that there are two types of charges. One is positive charge and the other one is negative charge. We have also studied how are these charges getting transferred from one body to another body, and what happens when these charges are getting transferred. So, we have to study in this lesson what is lightning, why this lightning occurs. Welcome back to the lesson some natural phenomena. In nature, we have studied that there are so many phenomena which we cannot understand, like cyclones, tsunamis, earthquakes, lightning, isn't it? So, what is this lightning, children? This is a process of electric discharge between the two clouds or between the cloud and the earth. So, as I told you, when these heavy clouds, when they are moving, when they hit with each other or collide with each other, the transfer of charges takes place from one cloud to another cloud, and or it can be between the cloud and the earth. And then these charges, when they are getting transferred, the electric discharge takes place, and that is seen as a bright glow, a spark with high intensity, and that is nothing but called as lightning. Children, we can hear a huge thunderstorm before it rains, and then suddenly you can see that it starts raining. So, when you hear a thunderstorm or when you see that lightning is taking place in the sky, you have to take some safety precautions. What are they? Which is a safe place to protect yourself from this lightning? Children, lightning, when it strikes a tree or when it hits a hut or when it falls on a building, like when it falls a tree, in this picture you can see the tree has split into two halves because of this lightning strike. When the lightning strikes tall objects, you should never take shelter under these tall trees. So, which is a preferable space? Not under a tall tree. You should move away from the tall objects. Then what are these lightning safety precautions what we have to take? You have to always stay inside a house. When you are outside your house, then and take care that you don't stay in tall buildings. So, if you are traveling in a car, then which place is safe? Are you safe inside the car or are you safe outside the car? You are safe when you sit inside the car. When you are traveling in a car or a bus, you should not get out of it because you are safe inside the car, because it's a metal body. The metal body will absorb the charges. Or if you are outside the car or the bus, the lightning may fall on you and cause harm. Children, which is not a safe place during a thunderstorm? As I told you, your house is the best place. And if you are outside the house, then you should never spend your time on an open ground like this. You should never travel in an open place. You should not stand under the tall trees. You should not move in the fields or in the garden. You should not stay in the multi-storied building. If it is a multi-storied building, then you have to take care that it has some lightning conductors. What are these lightning conductors, children? These lightning conductors are the huge poles which are fixed on the top of the building. See children, these lightning can be absorbed by the huge poles or the tall trees or the electric poles. So, best place for you is inside the house, but on one condition, that your house is not so tall and your house is protected with a lightning conductor. You should not speak on the landline phones when you find that yes, it is going to rain. When it is lightning is seen outside, don't use TV, don't use internet, don't use a computer. Switch off all the electric appliances present in your home. These are all the safety precautions you have to take when it is going to rain. That means before it rains, what is seen in the sky? Thunderstorm with lightning. As I told you, light travels faster than the sound. First we can see lightning and then we hear a thunderstorm. So when we see that lightning is going to take place, switch off all the electric appliances. And better to go back to your home and stay safe at your home. Now what are these lightning conductors? Children, this is a device or a metal rod which is protecting your buildings from the effect of lightning. Do you know what is this standing here? This is Eiffel Tower, which is located in Paris. This is a metal conductor, a huge metal conductor which can absorb the whole lightning. This picture, you can see that the lightning is being absorbed by the electric conductor which is placed on the Eiffel Tower of Paris. The same thing you can place it in your house. See this picture, children? This building is not having a metal rod placed. Then what happens? The electric charges present on the cloud will be absorbed. When the lightning falls on this house, then the charges will be absorbed by the house. And now this is in danger. And all the appliances present in this house are also at risk. But if you place a metal conductor, a lightning conductor, then all these charges will be absorbed by this lightning conductor. But this lightning conductor should always be connected to the earth. Very important thing is that every electric appliance should be connected only 3-pin plug. This 3-pin plug has a earthing connection. That means all the charges absorbed by this metal rod are sent to the earth. This will protect the building and the electric appliances and the people inside it from the lightning. So this is the use of a lightning conductor. So every tall building should be protected from the lightning by using this lightning conductor. Now let us go to the next topic, that is earthquake. This earthquake also causes a huge disaster. This is a natural disaster, a natural phenomenon caused by the nature. Earthquake, that means the earth trembles, and because of this trembling of earth, the houses which are constructed, the huge buildings which are constructed will fall down and break into pieces. This causes a lot of damage, not only to the building but also to the life, natural human life, and even to the plant and animal life. So children, earthquakes cause a lot of disasters. See here children, you can see total road has been broken down into pieces because of the disturbance which has caused in the crust of the earth. Now what is this crust of the earth? This picture is from Nepal. The earthquake has caused a lot of damage in the past years. So first we have to study about the 3 main parts of the earth. This is the picture of earth. Outside it is blue because it is covered with water. You can see so many continents here. Now inside when you go, the top layer of the earth is called as crust. The topmost layer is crust. The second layer is the mantle, and the innermost layer is called as the core. Now this core is again of 2 types, the outer core and the inner core. Children, the crust has mountains, trees, rivers, seas and oceans. On this crust we can see life, and when you go inside, this mantle has a semi-solid flow of matter, and this inner core is in the liquid state because of the high pressure and temperature. Now, this inner core contains lot of iron, and this has a lava in it, and when it flows into the mantle, this lava keeps flowing from one place to another place. And when it is flowing, when the lava flows, if any huge rock or a huge thing comes in its way, it simply pushes it or breaks it, and that is why the layers of the crust, the topmost layers of the crust, will tremble a little, causing the earthquake. So children, this earth crust is also made up of layers. Now children, what is earthquake? It is a sudden shaking or trembling of the earth. It lasts only for a short period of time. It can also be caused due to the deep disturbance inside the earth crust. Just now as I told you, the lava which is flowing from one place to another place, from the deep inside core or the mantle, will cause a disturbance on the topmost layer of the earth, that is crust. And because of this, earthquake occurs. Children, the uppermost layer of the earth is called as crust. The outermost layer of the earth is not in one piece. It is fragmented. That means it has layers under it. Now, each fragment is called as a plate. These plates are in continuous motion. You might have heard about the Continental Drift. The crust is not a single layer. It actually was a one piece of land, and this tectonic plates, they keep moving from one place to another place, and because of that, one single continent which was seen many millions of years ago now is broken into different continents, and even now these tectonic plates are moving away from each other. Now when they brush past from one another, or a plate when it goes under another plate, due to collision, they cause disturbance in the earth crust. And it is this disturbance that shows us as an earthquake on the topmost surface of the earth. However, most earthquakes are caused by the movement of these tectonic plates. Now you can see these are the different layers present in the earth's crust. One plate can go above another plate, or one plate can brush against another plate like this, and because of this, the topmost layer of the earth crust can tremble or shiver, causing earthquake. I hope you understood what is earthquake now, children. These are the topmost layer, and these are the different plates present under the topmost layer. These plates, they keep moving, or they keep pushing each other, or they keep brushing each other, and thus the topmost layer shivers, causing the earthquake. Now children, in India we have some weak zones. What are these weak zones? They are also known as fault zones or seismic zones. Children, in India, mainly in North India, we have many places like Kashmir, Western and Central Himalayas, because we can see flow of lava under these mountains. The whole of Northeast, the run of Kutch, Rajasthan, Indo-Gangetic Plain, these are all the places which are called as weak zones. That means we can see earthquakes more frequently. In South India also, there are some areas which are falling under the danger zone. Now see this map, children. Our India is divided into zone 2, 3, 4, 5. Children, about 59% of the land area of India is liable to seismic hazard damage. So, zone 5, very high risk zone, the area liable to shaking intensity. Now, orange color zone, the whole northeast part, as I told you, is a weak zone. Here, run of Kutch, as I told you, in Gujarat is a weak zone, and few parts of Himalayas, they are falling under zone 5. Now, zone 4, high risk zone, intensity 8. What is this intensity? We will be learning about it, children. Now see this light orange color parts. Here in Maharashtra, here in the northeastern part and in the northern part of India. Like we can see in Jammu Kashmir and even in the Uttar Pradesh also. Now zone 3, moderate risk zone with an intensity 7. The yellow color parts. These all yellow color parts of India, they fall under the zone 3. Few parts of Andhra Pradesh and few parts of Telangana, they fall under zone 3. Now zone 2, low risk zone. Now this blue color part falls under zone 2. Children, let us see some cities and the seismic zones. Agra and Ahmedabad, they fall under zone 3. Amritsar, Bhuj. Amritsar falls under zone 4. Bhuj falls under zone 5. Calcutta and Calicut, it falls under zone 3. Chandigarh falls under zone 4. Do you remember, as I told you, zone 4 and 5 are at high risk. So our Bhuj, that is in Gujarat, it is at high risk. And even Amritsar and Chandigarh, they are also at high risk. Mumbai, Pune, they fall under zone 3. Bangalore and Hyderabad are the safest places. Chennai falls under zone 2. Delhi, it falls under zone 4. Guwahati, Srinagar, Kohima, it falls under zone 5. Again, Delhi and Guwahati, Srinagar, Kohima, they are at high risk. So these are all the seismic zones and the cities which are falling under seismic zones. So children, I was telling you about seismic waves. The tremors which are produced under the earth crust, they produce some waves. These waves, they spread over a few kilometers of area on the surface of the earth. Like if you just drop a stone in the surface of water, what happens? Around the stone where it has fallen down, there you can see waves forming, water waves. The same way, inside the earth, when there is a disturbance caused, that disturbance is traveling up to few kilometers away from it in the form of waves, and those waves are called as seismic waves. Now these seismic waves can be captured and then we can predict that there is going to be a earthquake. How can we detect these seismic waves? By using some instruments. Like, so children, the scientists who are working on these seismic waves are called as seismologists. They have two main devices to measure an earthquake. In this picture you can see the two tectonic plates, they are moving away from each other. It can be in these three ways: up and down movement or lateral movement. Any of this movement of the tectonic plates can cause earthquake. Now this will produce seismic waves, and these seismic waves can be recorded by either a seismograph or a seismoscope. These are the two main devices which can be used to detect the seismic waves, and we can predict the people living in that particular area can be saved. They can be brought to a safe place by predicting the earthquake. Children, this seismograph is a machine which can detect or measure the seismic waves caused by the earthquake. In this picture, if you see, it has a stylus or a pen which is suspended. Now, because of the movement of this, on a white paper you can see there is a graph recorded. So the instrument is simply a vibrating rod or a pendulum. It has a pen attached to this pendulum. Now this pendulum records the seismic waves. It has a graph paper under it. On this graph paper, a graph is drawn. Now by studying these waves, scientists have constructed a complete map of the earthquake. The seismic waves can be recorded and then we can predict the earthquake. The intensity of the earthquake can be predicted. Now this is another instrument, Seesmoscope. It is an instrument that measures the occurrence of time or the occurrence of an earthquake. Children, you can see tall tumbler, and again these are all the frogs which are surrounding this tumbler. You can see the mouths of the frogs are open. Children, this is an instrument. It resembles a wine jar. It is 6 feet in diameter with the 8 dragons positioned face down along the outside of the barrel, marking the primary compass directions. In each dragon's mouth was a small bronze ball. Beneath the dragons sat 8 bronze toads with their broad mouths gaping to receive the ball. You can see these are all the dragons. They have balls in their mouths. And these are all the toads or the frogs which have their mouths open. So, when this wine jar, it trembles or shivers, the ball of the dragon will fall into the mouth of the frog. This will detect the earthquake. So, when an instrument sensed an incoming seismic wave, one of the ball would drop and the sound will alert the observers to the earthquake, giving a rough indication of the earthquake or the direction of the origin. Now children, this is a seismometer. Now this seismometer also will tell us that whether the earthquake is going to take place, and it also tells us that the intensity of the earthquake. What is the intensity of earthquake measured in? It is measured in the Richter scale. So Richter scale E tells us how much is the intensity of the earthquake which has taken place. Now children, let us study about the Richter scale. The power of an earthquake is expressed in terms of a magnitude on the Richter scale. The destructive earthquakes have magnitudes higher than 7 on the Richter scale. So children, the earthquakes which have caused a lot of destruction mainly fall under the category of more than 7 Richter scale. That means if the earthquake has an intensity of 7, that means it will cause a lot of damage. Now, how are we going to know that the intensity of that particular earthquake was 7? By the seismometer. Now, the power of an earthquake is expressed in terms of magnitude on Richter scale. So, the destructive earthquakes we have seen, they have higher than 7 Richter scale. Now, see the magnitudes and the earthquake effect, children. 0 to 2 if Richter scale cannot be felt by the people. If the magnitude of the earthquake is 2 to 3 Richter scale, then it can be felt a little by the people. And if the magnitude of the earthquake is 3 to 4 Richter scale, then the ceiling lights will swing. That means you can just see the trembling of the ceiling fans on the lights. And if the magnitude of earthquake is 4 to 5 Richter scale, then the walls will crack. And if the magnitude of the earthquake is between 5 to 6 Richter scale, then the furniture starts moving. And then if it is above 6 to 7 Richter scale, then the buildings will collapse. If the magnitude of the earthquake is between 7 to 8 Richter scale, then you can imagine what will be destroyed. The buildings get destroyed, the roads will cracking, and if it is above 8, then a lot of destruction takes place. The huge buildings and the bridges and the roads will start cracking. So by this you can understand that the earthquake causes a lot of damage. So it can be measured by Richter scale, by using seismograph or seismoscope. You can predict the earthquake, take the people to a safer place, and you can protect them from the damage. So this is a picture from Nepal. Children, here you can see the disaster caused by the earthquake. The huge building, the 4 to 5 storied building also, they have fallen down because of the trembling seen on the earth crust. And what is the protection you have to take against the earthquake, children? You can protect yourself. The buildings which are constructed in these zones should be designed so that they can withstand the major tremors. And the Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee, they have developed even quake-proof houses also. Such buildings can be constructed so that damage cannot be decreased, but at least you can protect your property by constructing quake-proof houses. And such quake-proof houses are safer even for the people also staying in them. Isn't it, children? In the event that an earthquake does strike, please take the following steps to protect yourself. If you are inside the home, take shelter under a table and stay there till the shaking stops. Why? Because if the furniture is going to fall, it will not fall on your heads. It will just fall on the table, and thus you can protect yourself. Children, how are you going to protect yourself if you are inside the house? You can protect your head by sitting or staying under the furniture. You can protect your electric appliances by switching them off. If fire accident takes place, please use fire extinguishers. You have to stop all the electric appliances, and please stay informed about the next program taken up by the government. If you are outside the home, then what are the precautions you are going to take? You just have to move away from the tall buildings. Find a clear spot. Please don't go below the tall trees, and you should protect yourself from the power lines or the electric poles. And please drop to the ground. Sleep on the ground and stay protected. You have to stay away from the tall and heavy objects that may fall on you. Now, the next disaster which will spoil the nature is tsunami. This is also a type of earthquake, but this takes place in the sea bed. That means inside the sea, if the trembling takes place due to the movement of the tectonic plates, the water above will start moving onto the seashore. You can see in this picture, these are all the movement of the sea water onto the houses, onto the seashore. Isn't it, children? This is caused because of the earthquake in the seabed. So, this is the picture which is taken in Kanyakumari during the tsunami period in 2004, which has caused a lot of damage to the property and to the human life. This tsunami is a natural disaster. It's a natural phenomenon which can be predicted, but you can save yourself by protecting yourself. Now, here is a project I am giving you, children. Locate the tsunami affected areas in the map. Take an outline map of the world. Locate the eastern coast and Andaman and Nicobar Islands in India. Make other countries around the Indian Ocean which could have suffered. Collect accounts of the devastation caused by the tsunami in India from your parents or other elders in the family or in the neighborhood. This is a project given in your textbook. Locate the tsunami affected areas in the map. Now, let us revise what we have studied, children. The process of electric discharge between the clouds and the earth or between the different clouds causes lightning. Lightning strike could destroy life and property. Lightning conductors can protect buildings from the effect of lightning. Now, answer these questions in the Improve Your Learning. Which places are not safe during a thunderstorm? List 3 states in India where earthquakes are more likely to occur. Explain how to determine the intensity of earthquake. Is there any alternate method to find the intensity of earthquake? Children, I hope you have understood the lesson. Please download the worksheets from SCERT website for better learning and good practice. Okay, children, let us meet in another session of digital classes. Thank you.